What up, nerds, and welcome back to the Garage Talks. The Garage Talks. It
The
is
Garage Talks Pod.
Burb and Hummer back on your airwaves after 3 or 4 weeks, I think, since our last episode. I dropped like 2 little things in
It's
between.
been some time, but there's been some
You've got
things behind the
us.
scenes. There's been some marketing meetings that we've been having. We recently gained a sponsor in God. God's our sponsor now every Sunday. But
Listen,
yeah.
God's been our sponsor since we were in the womb. So we love it. we love it. But the thing that I appreciate about this episode, though, is it's just the two of us, and we haven't had that. Just the two of us. We haven't had that since like our comeback episode on episode 60. And not that
That's
I don't
true.
love having guests, but like it's always just such a classic like mess around when it's just Burb and Humdog. You know what I mean?
Always, brother friend, always. But I think we have some exciting news for the the garage dwellers. What do we call our people?
Yeah, the garage dwellers, the people that live in the garage, the people that inhabit the garage are garage dwellers.
Those who are a part of the garage.
So those who live in the garage and love the garage because we love you. But yeah, we have been kind of the reason we haven't dropped an episode in a long time is because Hummer's right. We had a marketing meeting. We're like, hey, we've been talking, just catching up is as like our episode themes and like kind of talking about whatever we want to. And like, obviously we love that, but does it really move the needle? Like, does it really draw a lot of interest? And we're like, maybe for like those 7 people that live in the garage, you know? So we kind of sat down and we're like, what could we really do to make this a little bit more of like a pointed show, give it more direction? And we're sitting here and I'm kind of just thinking like, you know, we had the Florida Man segment for quite some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we came around to the idea that it's always been Florida. So the new direction of the show is going to be, do you want to hit him with it? Do you want to hit him with it?
Yeah, it's the Garage Talks Pod from Panhandle to Peninsula.
Hell yeah, brother. So we're going to essentially be, and I mean, credit to you. You came up with that whole, that was totally you. The whole time
I'm having like a little epiphany right now too. Like normally people are like, yeah, like our company has a strong North Star, right? Like we're all going to a specific North Star. We're in Florida, baby. We got a South Star.
Yeah. That's our South Star. Like
our South Star.
We're hitting it. But no, it's exciting because like the tallywhacker in the United States, some might even say, you know, but it's literally always been Florida and it just made sense. And literally once we kind of had that epiphany, we're like, holy shit, like, why don't we just talk about the place that we've lived for like our entire lives and just make the show based off of that?
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're not going to be changing too much. Like we're still going to be having our fun banter back and forth. We're still going to be, you know, hummus and pot and Burb here. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, like we wanted this to be a podcast that provides our listeners with not only engagement, but value. And so maybe if you're someone who lives in Florida, these could be relatable stories or things that we talk about that you would totally like lock onto because maybe you live here and you understand where we're coming from. If you're not from Florida, maybe you've heard some things that from, you know, Florida is a little bit of a rough place sometimes in funny ways. So sometimes there might be an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what we got going on down here in the peen of the U.S., little tallywhacker of the U.S. But yeah, I think we got a fun first episode for you here, at least with our new style of content, which is funny because in reality we're changing very little in terms of the style of content, but we just have a little bit more of a direction on where we want to take things, and I think it's something that's going to resonate with a lot of our listeners. So, with that being said, welcome to not only the Garage Talks, but the Garage Talks from Panhandle to Peninsula. Love that for you.
Panhandle to Peninsula, Pensacola to Key West. We're going to be talking about all of it. And it's funny, we're talking about like it's a big change, but honestly, like you're right, it's not, because like we had Florida Man and like we talked about a bunch of other Florida shit like on previous episodes too. So
yeah,
really nothing, but we're excited about it. And we got a couple cool things to, you know, throw on the social media as well, like in between episodes, because we want to keep you guys like, hey, look at what these 2 idiots are doing on their drive to work, or like what they're thinking about on the day in and day out. So yeah, we got some cool stuff coming. So hopefully you guys like it. We're stoked, as you can tell. Like we literally have not shut up about it for 2.5 minutes now. So we're here and we're still living in the garage. As you can see, if you're watching on Spotify and YouTube, our background is the garage. And we got all of our,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, with the whole circle. By the way, real quick, non-Florida related, have you seen Brand New Day,
I
Spider-Man?
have not. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin
I'm not gonna
anything.
say I'm not gonna say anything, but
All right, because that's New
it's
York themed. We'll get there.
yeah,
We'll talk about that in a different time. But for the time being, let's jump into our first segment, which is not a new one,
it's my
but it
favorite.
kind of is. It's always a favorite.
Yep,
The
it's literally my favorite.
Brew Down.
It's the Brew
Oh yeah, it's
Down.
because Brad's a raging alcoholic. He leaves home and he goes and he just brews.
I
Raging.
literally just bring like a 12-pack, sit in the back of my truck, and go park at the lake across from my apartment and just drink.
That's actually super, super illegal. Don't like
I
drink
actually
in your
don't do that
car.
at all. I don't do that.
Please don't do that.
I
Funny
do
enough,
not do
though,
that at all.
before we dive into the brew down, we used to. Okay, so obviously you know what a Four Loco is, right?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, so back at
That
Florida
shit killed
State,
people back in the day.
yeah, they used to have caffeine in that. I listen, people are crazy. Speaking of crazy, Y bombs, Yannis, bro, FSU, where they got the. We'll get into Florida State later, but like, I'm sorry, vodka, Red Bull, shooting that wild. But
Yeah,
funny enough, we used to go to there was a gas station, little beer barn right off campus on Tennessee
I
Street.
love a good beer
Can
barn.
go in there and they used to have, I shit you not, every flavor of Four Loco you can think of, right? Like generally you go to a gas station or whatever, maybe they have like 3 flavors. Nah, this place was stocked. All right. So they got every flavor of Four Loco you can think of. And what we would do is we would go get one and then we would go to the parking lot kind of closer to one of the bars and
Hmm.
we would have a nice little parking lot pregame. And so in the group chat, Four Locos, the name of them transitioned over time from being Four Loco to parking lot pregame. We were just like, yo, you trying to go get a little parking lot pregame? Pull up in the parking lot. We were not inside cars. That's illegal. Do not sit in a car and drink
Parked
alcohol.
safely.
No parking. No, no, no. The car is parked. We are nowhere near the car. Do not be
Correct.
inside of a car and drink alcohol. That is extremely illegal. Don't
Correct.
do that.
That is
However,
extremely illegal. We do not condone disavow. We
exactly.
disavow.
However, we did stand within the parking lot premises, not inside of any cars, and we had a nice little parking lot pregame with Four Loco. You know the deal.
Honestly, aside from you guys calling Four Locos parking lot pre-games, nothing beats like a parking lot pregame, like the legitimate parking lot pregame.
I mean, like at the end of the
You know
day,
what I mean?
we're talking about a tailgate, but we're not
Yeah.
going to talk about it like that because there's a difference between having a nice little party before a game and then having a full on sesh where you're just trying to drink as fast as possible so you can get up to speed before you go to the bar. Trace, save a little money because in college, man, no one's got that cash, no one's got that money.
Listen, I was on that public squat. I wasn't making much. So
Listen, I worked at the Florida State Foundation, my guy. I was calling people
yeah.
like, "Hi, my name is Christian. Would you like to donate to Florida State?"
This is Homer.
I was actually pretty good at that job too. They would put me on this thing
Oh
called
no.
managed prospects, right? So it would literally just be these people that Florida State follows and knows that they like make bank. So I would call and like here's a fun fact that some people might not know. Florida State up until like a certain I think it was like the 50s or 60s, maybe they changed it, but it was an all girls school for a little bit there. And so in managed prospects, because all of like the boomers are around at that time, right? They're all rich, they're all retired now. Dude, we would call people and it would be like Blanche. It would be like the name of the girl, right? And she would answer the phone and literally it would be like talking about Florida State, what's going on, what programs we're supporting, all this stuff. And then I would literally just ask the questions. And these ladies would give me rundowns like you'd never believe. They'd be like, oh, it's in this sorority, and we would do this and that and this. Meanwhile, this lady's like 80, all right? And then at the very end, she'd be like, anyways, Christian, put me down for $15,000. And I'm like, ugh, okay. And then here's the
You
thing.
said what now?
We were in a little call center, right? And so everyone else in the call center was all there listening to everybody, right? Because the phone would just keep ringing. And most of the time, no one would answer. But when they did, you would get to chat with people, right? But then you'd always know when someone made like I guess it's a donation. You'd call it like a deal or whatever. But essentially, it'd be like, thank you so much for that generous donation of $15,000 to the Florida State University Foundation. It was so fun to say that shit because then everyone around would be like, oh, this motherfucker just got that. We didn't even make commission off it, but it was cool. Like, what
Of
was going
course,
on. Like,
it's more so just like a bragging rights type of thing in the office.
yeah. And we would like
Yeah,
put it
that's
on
cool.
on the board. There was like a little whiteboard that our like leader would put it down on. And it was kind of fun on that sense. But like, hey man, I don't
love
know. It
that.
was going to good stuff. They would redo the union, for instance, with all that money, or they would fund LARPing in Landis Field. I don't know. You never like who
Like
knows
the
what's
whole
going
like
on.
medieval like live action role play with like the
That shit
javelins and
happens
stuff.
full on,
Yeah,
like on
no,
Landis, right in front of Strozier, dude. No shit, no shit. They would literally have people who would go full on medieval times involved, and then it just makes me want, like, it reminds me of the movie Role Models. If you've ever seen Role Models,
I love Role Models. Such a
when
good movie.
okay, we can jump into our next segment, but two highlights from that movie. One of them, they're like in the little like Jeep or whatever, and they pull up to the like essentially McLovin's house. It's like the guy who plays McLovin. They pull up and he's like, "Hey man, you want to come see my turtle?" And he's like, and then Paul Rudd's character is like, "Nah, I'm all right. Thanks though."
No, I'm good. Thanks
I
for
love
asking.
that
I
part.
appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like when they're at the LARPing thing at the very end, and the one guy is like, Blumpkin. And he goes, "Let us gingerly touch our tips."
I love that. I still say that like to this
Oh,
day. Like if I'm trying to like get hyped to make a point, let us gingerly touch our tips.
I
You
do
know.
that in golf,
So
bro. Like if someone hits a good play or whatever, I'll be like, "Let us gingerly touch our tips." And then we just like take the butt of our golf clubs and just like touch them together. You know the deal. But
and then just
anyways,
like touch.
let's jump into the brew down, Brad. I know you got something special
Yes.
today. I don't like the way the can looks, but I'm sure the ingredients inside
Well,
of it are pretty good.
it's very Florida coded for sure, and it's from a brewery. I think it's in Miami somewhere possibly, but the brewery is Tripping Animals, which by the way the name is great, and the beer is called Ever Haze, like Everglades, but it's an IPA. It's a hazy IPA. 7 point ABV, so
Nice.
7% alcohol, and this is the can for those of y'all watching at home.
It has a gator on it, guys.
Yeah, but you know that how Florida is that though? Like look at
I
that.
mean, it's great. It's great. I love it, but I'm also
Uh-huh.
conflicted because I hate UF. Like the Florida Gators, obviously
Well,
we're Seminoles.
of course,
We're
but
we're Knowles,
putting
man.
that aside, it is really good. So like I'm gonna have some fun drinking this one, but this is Ever Haze, and it says hazy India Pale Ale brewed with Citra, Cashmere, and Amarillo hops. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this
All right,
bad boy open.
McLovin, literally jumping back into the McLovin shit where he's in the in super bad and he goes to the liquor store.
It's got a lot of hops in it.
I recently heard they decided to add more hops to it. How's
That's
it going?
exactly why I said it.
You like it?
Oh, yeah. I've had it. Like I started drinking it over the weekend. It's so good.
Big news.
It's smooth. It still kind of has your pine tree taste a little bit, but no, it's solid. If I had to rate this, I would definitely would give it like a solid, probably like a 7 out of 10. But really like this beer. It's good.
I feel
What are you
you.
drinking?
Well, I'm a little less cool. I'm actually gonna be drinking a Topo Chico. I've been like a tequila slut recently, just really into tequila for some reason, which is interesting because up until like my honeymoon, hated tequila. And then we went on a cruise, and the only drinks that were good on that cruise were tequila drinks for some reason. It really is true what they say. The older you get, your like taste buds change. You just start like
Yep.
disliking
And then
certain
tequila
things. You
becomes
start
a
loving
thing.
things. Oh my God, man, I love it. But Topo Chico, can't be mad about it. It's 6% alcohol, so it's got a little bit more hair on the chest than what you got going on there. I mean, for what it's worth, it is made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so it's a little less Florida coated, if I'm being honest. But it is a
But
green
Topo
can.
Chico is solid in terms of the seltzer game.
Yeah, I believe so. It's
Yeah.
got some lime juice in it, which is good to know, you know? And once again, like it's a green can, so alligators are green, so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually got the same kind of color, like
Yo,
yours
facts. Oh my God, you're
and
not wrong.
mine. Like we're
The
kind of like
color, yeah,
we're
no
kind of
joke.
matching. Yeah. 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 Look. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm
Yeah.
gonna rip into this
Like,
real quick, get myself a nice little swig, and then yeah, that's the brew down, guys. So go
I
get
don't think we've
yourself.
done a brew down like that in quite some time.
Yeah, man, it was chill. I mean, obviously most people
Yeah.
know what Chopo Chico is, but go get yourself something from Tripping Animals or whatever brewery Brad named it.
Yeah.
It's support your local breweries, especially if they're Florida based. And if
That's what I was
you're
gonna say. Florida
yeah,
breweries is gonna be like my main focus. We're at Trader Joe's, and they literally sell this shit at Trader Joe's. You know, so go to TJ's to get it. I'm sure they got it at Total Wine. Like I'm a big
um
TJ fan. I really do like Trader Joe's for the vibes.
Trader
So
Joe's
yeah.
is great, dude. Trader Joe's is super slept on for flowers. If you're a
Oh,
boy and
we get
you're
our
like already
sage
a
from
man,
there and our flowers. It's really nice.
oh, dude, listen, if you're a
Yeah.
guy and you're out here and you got a girl, whether that be a girl you're with, whether that be your mama, whether that be your sister, if it's just a friend, who gives a shit? Hey, listen, you can also shoot on the same side of the fence. You got a guy you want to go get some flowers for? Get your guy some flowers, by the way. Guys love flowers, all right? I don't know why girls are the only ones that get flowers. In my
I agree.
opinion, if I got some flowers, I'd be hype, all right? And if
Yeah.
you're going to do that, go to Trader Joe's. $8.99 dozen roses, you can't beat that. I'm
You
sorry.
know what I'm
That's
gonna do for you
insane.
now?
You gonna me some flowers?
I'm gonna have to buy you some flowers. 1-800-ROSES delivered directly to your door.
Okay, but
Not
if you
not
do
not
that,
TJ's, but you know.
if you do that though, can you also send me a bottle of specifically Luna Nueva tequila? It's from California, so also not Florida coated, but I want some of their Blanco tequila. So smooth,
They're probably
so
not gonna
good.
arrive at the same time, but you know,
Mm.
if you're good over the next couple weeks, maybe. You gotta stay on your best behavior. Just saying.
All right, if I'm 10 out of 10
Yeah.
over these next few weeks and we see each other at Halloween Horror Nights, which we're gonna talk about a little later, maybe
Yes.
you
I'm
splurge a
excited because I
little.
don't know your plan yet. So
Maybe you
I'm
splurge
excited
a
to hear
little,
about
baby
that.
girl, and you get me the 3 bottle pack that has the Blanco, the Reposado, and the blanking on the last one. It's like
Añejo.
Añejo. Yeah. See, I'm
Añejo.
not that big into tequila in the sense that I'm
Mhm.
like real versed. I just know agave, and the smoother the taste, the better.
Better it is.
I did watch this
Right?
video an hour and a half yesterday though, regarding all these different tequilas and like a top rated ones. And apparently, like any of those really, really well known ones, think like Jose Cuervo, even though the song's really good.
Yeah.
Um, what are other ones like
10 rounds,
those random
Jose
ceramic bottles that are
Cuervo.
like super blue and white and stuff? Any of those where the bottles are like $300?
Yeah.
Not good, man. They actually have class action lawsuits against some of them because of the fact that they say 100% agave, whatever, and
But they're
then
not.
they're only like 50%. That's horrid, bro. What are you talking about? If you're gonna get in there, get in there. You know what I mean? So
Was it you that said in there like swimwear?
no, but
That
get
was
in there like
Doll.
swimmer
Get in
for
there like
sure.
swimwear. For show. All
So,
right. So I think this
anyways,
is a good spot to transition because you alluded to it. So we're keeping it Florida coded, and you know,
specifically Orlando, O Town,
specifically
O Town,
O-Town. Shout out O-Town.
50 pack.
We are going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights 2026 HHN 35 in Orlando.
Can I ask
I
you something?
recently, yeah,
I gotta know. So there are people
Yeah.
out there that 4th of July happens. The moment the 4th of July is over, like the last firework goes off, dude, for me, Halloween, immediate. Like I don't give a shit that we're still in July. And the 4th of July ends, the next day, 5th of July, until October 31st, that's spooky season for me. I got movies, I got spookiness. Natalie and I, we got a stoop now at our place. We got a stoop.
Uh-huh.
I'm putting
You-
at least
got a
2 to
stoop?
3. Yeah,
Like-
bro. 2 to 3 jack-o'-lanterns are going on that bitch. We're gonna carve a pumpkin this year. Huge.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I think I definitely want to carve a pumpkin this year for Halloween. But yeah, so I'm kind of in the same boat. I've kind of transitioned to that more over the last couple of years because before I was like, no, it's summer. It's summer until October comes around and then it's fall. No, like over the last probably 3 or 4 years, like I've gotten more into like the spooky season spirit earlier and earlier. So yeah, this year after July 4th hit, my brain is in like literally transitioned over to like, hey, I'm gonna start thinking about Halloween Horror Nights because I've had a lot of fun the last couple of years going to that event. So no, I'm with you. It's October, September, October, and then November, but whatever. You know?
Yeah, no,
So
I get it.
let me go ahead and share my screen so we can talk about these houses. And then I want to get after I go through the houses, I want to get your hype list for the houses
I'm
as
down.
well. Like
I
what
can't
like
do the
what
scare zones. I don't have them in front of me, and I like tried
share.
to find them, but I just couldn't.
I got them.
Okay, word. Bet.
Let's go here and share. Okay. So let's start off with
Let's
the
go.
one on the left because when this one was announced, I was beyond. I texted you right away when I heard about it.
I
as
knew it was
well.
gonna happen though. Like I
Yeah.
had a weird hunch. You know what's funny too? I saw this and I thought there was a year. It didn't happen in Orlando. It happened at the Universal that's over in California. But they
Yeah.
did a Black Sabbath house one year, which is kind of sick. So it's a little bit like it, right? But
Yeah. So
you know,
the
rest in
house, if
peace,
you guys
Ozzy.
aren't watching,
He's the boy.
it's
He's the Prince of Darkness.
Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness. Yeah. No, you're right. You
Dude,
know,
I'm hyped for
R.I.P.
this.
when
I'm
dude
aged.
when he passed, I was like very much like, oh my god, because you know, truthfully, like I listen to a lot of classic rock, but like as our lore goes, you got me into like punk and classic rock like a lot, and it kind of was with Ozzy as well, you know. So yeah, I very much am like
I mean,
super aged
Paranoid
about this house.
is easily top 5 metal albums of all time. Just being honest with you. Like
100%.
Paranoid, the song, which is on the
Yep.
Paranoid album, huge.
Yep.
Iron Man, like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
War Pigs, I don't think War Pigs is on that album. I'm not 100% certain, but that song bumps.
I think
It's
War
just
Pigs is a
like
Black Sabbath,
it
right?
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, Paranoid is Black Sabbath too. The
Right.
whole thing. My
Yeah.
God. Also,
Yeah.
fun
No,
fact, Ozzy, he just like snorted ants one time. If you ever saw like that bio doc about Motley Crue, he's just like at a motel and he just like snorts some ants.
yeah.
That's
No,
crazy.
he was absolutely insane. But from what I know about this house, I think it's mainly focusing on his solo work.
Okay.
And for
Crazy
us,
train.
I think we start like going on the crazy train from what I know, and then we kind of just roll through his entire. There's balloons on my screen. I'm doing a lot of hand motions and Apple's picking it up, whatever. But we like roll through his entire discography until like the very end. I think it ends with like No More Tears or something like that, which I'm going to be fucking crying if that's how it ends.
It's a banger. And here's the thing,
Yeah.
they've done some houses like this. They did Alice Cooper house one year, which was really sick. And then in 2022 or 2023, they did The Weekend too, and that was like a
I
sleeper
heard that was
house.
a great house.
It was a really good house. So I think because of the fact that it's like, yes, it's Ozzy Osbourne, but I think it's also kind of an original house in a way too. So Universal has a little bit more freedom to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And if the whole time it's just blasting like Ozzy Osbourne or Black Sabbath music, that's insane. I'm hyped for that. So
Yeah. I
definitely going to
can't
be a
wait.
fun one.
I
Now,
really
moving on
can't
to this
wait.
next one. I'm sorry, man. I know I can't not say this is going to be probably my favorite house. I am an absolute slut for Evil Dead. That is my favorite
Are you?
franchise. Dude, I love Evil Dead. It is my favorite franchise by far across all horror movie genres.
Yeah.
Like, people get in with like Friday the 13th, people get in with Nightmare on Elm Street, people get in with, Halloween and Mike Myers and all this stuff. Evil Dead is my shit. I love Evil Dead. I don't like Ash versus the Evil Dead though, where they kind of did like a little spinoff. Not really a big fan of that. But dog, you want to have a fun time watching a scary movie? Just watch any of the Evil Dead movies. They're
Have you
awesome.
seen Evil Dead Burn? Because that's what the house is going to be.
I have not seen it yet.
No.
It's in theaters. I might go see it soon. But generally, when these movies come out in theaters, they end up on streaming pretty soon afterwards. And so we're probably just gonna wait and see that. But yeah, no, man, I'm hyped. That's
Yeah.
probably. I know we're gonna do like a little hype list, but spoiler alert: this is probably gonna be my number one house. Whether or not it's good or not, I'm gonna be hyped. So
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel about Ozzy. Like, I think Ozzy is by far going to be like my top one. I don't care if it's good or bad. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute banger, but like, I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of it. So, truthfully, for me with Evil Dead, like, I've only seen the 2012 remake of Evil Dead. I haven't seen any of
which
the other
is
ones.
so okay for what it's worth. If you do watch the old ones that they remade, like how they remade them, like the originals are like they're kind of goofy. If I'm being honest with you,
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
yeah. They're a
Yeah.
little goofy. It's a sign of the times. Like, if you were
Because it was
around when
1980s,
Jaws first
right?
came out. Yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
when Jaws first came out, everyone was like, "Oh no, Jaws!" And I'm like, "Dog, like whatever. It's a shark. Punch in the nose. It'll be good." But like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you watch the remake, that shit was fire. I'm just being 100.
That movie did scare the crap out of me. And I remember prior to me going the last 2 years, the last HHN I went to, I think was like 2013
They had an Evil Dead house. Yeah,
or 2014, somewhere in that realm. I
was my
went
favorite
to
house.
I went to the Evil Dead house that year, and I
Best
was
house.
fucking terrified.
Literally the
Fucking
very end of
terrified.
the house where she's like missing an arm and she has a chainsaw and it's raining blood. Buddy, what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Best.
I
Yeah.
I agree.
All
All
right.
right, so
Moving on to
moving
this
on to
next
the
one.
next one, we got Hellraiser, and the Hellraiser house is going to be based on the first 3 Hellraiser movies. So I started the first Hellraiser. I watched the first 20 minutes of it.
It's the most
And
confusing shit ever.
have you seen them?
No, Natalie and I watched like a Hellraiser recap explained video on YouTube that was like 20, 25 minutes long. And it explained essentially the entirety of the like every single Hellraiser there's like 11 of these bitches, but
Yeah.
I I don't know. The gist of that I got was like there's this box. It's like a puzzle. If you solve the
It's this
puzzle,
it's
it
this
like
box that
summons
Pinhead's
hell.
holding here.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think like this house is probably going to be lower on the list for me only because of just my inability to like understand what's going on. Maybe that
Yeah.
being said, it is a cult classic kind of horror movie, and I think like they need these, right? So every couple years they'll have like Halloween, like I said, or they'll have like a Friday the 13th house or something of that nature, and I think that's good for kind of settling the palate of some of these people that really enjoy these like older like
Yeah.
horror type films. Obviously this is going to be the first 3 movies. If I'm being candid, still have no clue what happens in them or
Yeah.
what the whole gist of the story is. Very confusing. And if you don't believe me, like look this shit up online, guys.
I
I'm not
mean,
playing.
I'm gonna
But
watch the first one in its entirety at some point before actually going, but I mean, it's like
yeah.
pure pain BDSM, like bloody ass shit.
Yeah, it's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey man, that's like what hell is. So what's up?
Yeah, exactly. So that's Hellraiser. Then the next one we got is Stranger Things 5. So this house is
Okay.
going to be strictly based on the 5th season of Stranger Things. Truthfully,
I have a gripe
I
with that.
was not overly fond of season 5. I thought it was good, but it had
Okay.
potential to be great, and it
I
was not
also am
great.
like hit or miss on this because it says join the gang for one last adventure. Here's my thing. If you know as Universal Studios that this is going to be the last time that you can use Stranger Things as an IP for your event, why are you only keeping it to the 5th season? I
That's what
understand
I'm
that
saying.
that's the most recent one, but if why not do like a whole big spectacular that has all of them? I mean, obviously that'll be quite expensive, but I'm sorry, dude. Like all of the VIP tickets for this bitch sold out already, and that was $1,300 at a minimum. I find it hard to believe that they're not going to make their money back. Go big, go big. Like this is definitely going to be the biggest draw. This is definitely going to be the house that has the longest wait time the entire season. You're not going to find that for less than 90 minutes every night. And so if that's the case, why not go big and go like or go home with it? You know what I'm saying? Why is it
It's
only
also
season
one of the
5?
houses that's opening at 2 o'clock. Did you hear about that? 3 houses are opening at 2 this year.
What does that even mean?
So they're opening 3 houses at 2 o'clock for
Like in the
Scream
afternoon?
Early. Hmm. And that's one of them. They're opening
That's
Hellraiser, Stranger Things, and then Jack and Oddfellow, which we're gonna get to in a second. Those 3 are opening at 2 p.m.
I don't
because
mind
they
that
know that
actually.
those
I
3
think that's a good
houses are gonna
idea.
be, like, long wait times. So,
I think that's a good idea.
um,
I'm on board with
yeah.
that. I think hear me out too. Natalie and I were having a discussion, and it's a little bit of a tangent based off of what we're talking about. Why do they keep going only with 10 houses? Why don't they add 2 more houses? It doesn't have to be IPs, so you don't have to pay for them, right? Just make them originals and then do your best to make because sometimes the original houses are like real sleeper, right? Like they're really good sometimes and
I'm
they
team
can
original, personally.
right, and they can draw
Yeah,
crowds away from some of these other houses, and if everyone's more spread out throughout the park and the lines for each house has more people, right, then, like, what you're doing is you're lowering the wait times for everything else. I'm also a
totally.
big proponent of not overselling tickets for each night. I think there are certain nights of the event that go for it, right? Like, first weekend, fine. Last weekend, fine. Halloween night, fine. But, like, but it's Wednesday. Why does everything have like a 45 to an hour long wait? Like, what are we doing? It's Wednesday night. Y'all
I
don't have
feel like
work
a
tomorrow?
Wednesday night in September or October should be, like, walk on.
That's what I'm saying. Or like 30
Yeah.
minutes max. And maybe Stranger
Yeah.
Things is an hour. All right, whatever. But I don't know. Anyways, this
Yeah.
next one, I'll jump in on this because I just watched this and you said that you fell asleep watching it because you did some CBD or whatever the hell
I
beforehand.
got a little high and I didn't remember much of it. Yeah.
CBD doesn't have any psychoactive drugs in it, my man.
It
So I don't
was
know how you got
CBD
high.
and THC. I wanted to. Yeah.
Ah, feeling a
Yeah.
little spunky to that day. Okay, so this is Sinners. Sinners was 2025 film. It says yearn for one bluesy bloodbath. It's open night at the Smokestack Twins juke joint, but the blues become red when a hive mind of bloodthirsty vampires crashes the party in this haunted house based on the original film. Hear me out. I just literally watched this yesterday. This was
Oh, it was yesterday. I didn't know it was yesterday.
literally, yeah, because Natalie and I had never seen it, and we were like, "All right, well, I guess we're gonna have to watch this in order for us to understand what's going on." This is by far it has made its way into top 10 horror/thriller movies for me. I don't know if I would call this a horror movie per se.
It's a
There wasn't
Hiller.
there just really wasn't a bunch of scariness. Like, you know how like in a horror movie or like something of that nature, there's like people jumping out and it like there's some
Yeah,
cutscene that kind of that nothing really
yeah,
happened like that. But the cinematography, which I think this won like 4 Oscars, number two. Okay,
it did.
the cinematography in it, wonderful. The score, like the music, wonderful. The acting was great. Michael B. What's that guy's name?
Jordan,
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
He was he played two different characters like twins, the coolest thing. But yeah, man, I think this is actually going to be one of those houses where, you know, how you walk in and instead of it being more of like a scary house, it's more of those like what it looks like. Like it looks really good. You could tell Universal put a lot of effort into how it looks. I think that's going to be what this house is like, especially just given that like the majority of the movie takes place in like one room or one kind of area. So it's
I feel
hard
like
for
it
them.
has to be at the juke joint for like the
Well,
majority
yeah.
of it. Because I remember like the first half of the movie was them kind of setting everything up.
Mhm.
You know, like getting everybody together and they're getting to the juke joint and then everything happens at the juke joint, you know? Like
Do you
I
want
do
to
remember
know
that a little bit.
my conspiracy theory behind this house and this movie particularly? So, like 2 or 3 years back, I think it was like 2023-ish, somewhere in that ballpark, right? There was a house that took place in 1930s Louisiana, and it was called The Darkest Deal. Do you remember that
I've seen
house?
the walkthrough. I've seen the walkthrough. I wasn't there
Okay.
that year,
And
but I know
the
of it.
thing is, when you walk through that house, it had a very similar vibe. It was like bluesy. It was like about kind of this dark, and it wasn't vampires particularly, but it was like a dark
Just
vibe,
dark
like
entities, right?
dark entities, like that kind of shit. What if, spitballing here, very hypothetical, like I don't think this is actually real, but you know, what conspiracy theory, I'm gonna put my little tinfoil hat on here. What if someone who wrote this went into that house and was like, "Yo, this would be kind of a fire movie," and then went home and wrote
I see.
Sinners, and then full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that definitely I've all the podcasts I listened to said that this could very much feel like a Darkest Deal type of house. And I know
I
how
think it's
much
gonna be
it's
very
like
similar
revered in HHN lore. So, no, I'm excited. I definitely need to rewatch the movie again. But I do remember enjoying the majority of it from what I remember. So I'm very excited. This house is going to be pretty high on my hype list.
for sure.
The next one we got, because now we're going to start getting into the originals a little bit more now, and we'll move through these a little bit faster. But we got Jack and Oddfellow, Chaos and Control. The forces of horror collide. Horror icons aren't born, they're made. Discover the unholy origins of Jack the Clown and enter Dr. Oddfellow's universe as the two pit chaos versus control in the showdown decades in the making. I'm excited for this because I don't know
Yeah.
these guys personally. I know Jack, I don't know Oddfellow, but like I'm very excited for this house because just to kind of see them and I know their lore, like
Mhm.
to see them fight, it's
I
gonna
think it'll be
be
a fun house. Yeah,
it's
like
gonna be
Jack
cool.
is he's a HHN staple. Over these last few years, they've kind of developed more information and more of the storyline behind Oddfellow and his kind of setup. And there was actually a house maybe last year or a few years back that was Oddfellow's house. It was pretty solid. It was in like the queue for I believe Fast and Furious, and generally those houses don't do nearly as well as other ones. So there's that.
Yeah.
But I
Because
don't
that
know. I
weird
think it's
break, you know?
yeah. I think it's gonna be a sleeper house though. There's gonna be a lot of people, especially people who are like Halloween Horror Nights and are like really interested in like the lore and things behind it. I think that's gonna be the most attractive house for them. But yeah, I agree.
Absolutely going to be a draw. I'm personally excited for that one. All right, next up, keeping with the originals, we got Cybergoria. So, immortality comes at a cost. Awaken thousands of years in the future in this haunted house and brave a cold world driven by machines with a singular goal to make you live forever, even if it kills you. So,
That
I know a
just
little bit about this house.
I don't know. That gives me
Um,
zombie vibes. Like, are we talking like
it's like human robot combos because from what I read about this house, it's going to be like the idea is this company was going to like cryo freeze our bodies in the hope that we can stay frozen, kind of like Walt Disney, and try to live forever until finally, right? They find a cure for immortality, and then that's when these people wake up. But the ones that paid for like the lesser subscription cost, um, they never made it. So these are the ones that kind of like are it's broken, the system failed, and now they're kind of like half man, half machine, if I understand it correctly.
it'd be cool? I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not overly excited about that one. I think it's gonna be kind of one of those filler houses, if I'm being honest. But you know what? Like, you never know. It could be a sleeper. You never know.
Yeah.
This next one
Next up,
though. can I talk about this one? Because
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one's
go,
like,
go, go, go,
I'm
go.
so H for this. Okay.
Me too,
Invasion,
honestly.
alien abduction, extraterrestrial, and extra terrifying. Make contact with horrors from worlds unknown in this haunted house, where a ship full of greys have torn apart a remote homestead in search of fresh test subjects. Buddy, the word greys is your stereotypical alien. I'm talking big head, big bug eyed aliens. I'm so H for this house, even if it's stupid as shit. I am so happy. I hope they have a bunch of short people who are like
They're not
little
gonna.
alien. Do you want them to be big and tall?
I already know what this is gonna be. I heard what these
No.
aliens are gonna be.
I want them to be so small. Like, it would be so cute if they were like, "Meh, meh, meh,
There's
meh,"
probably
and they
gonna be
were
some
just
of those.
like little small ones that are just like jumping out of like little crevices and shit. And they're like trying to probe you. I'm into that. I think that'd be
Yep.
funny.
No, we're definitely getting probed. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And the whole
You know what
time
I
it's
did
just
hear about
like,
this house though?
what's
Is
up?
I heard that there's gonna be a vibrating floor at
Oh,
some
that's
point.
fire. Huge.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. No, this house is gonna be really cool. I heard that they're gonna be throwing out a lot of like really cool technical things. I mean, a vibrating floor already is gonna like scare the fuck out of me, but it's fine.
Huge.
Okay. Next up, we got Madlands Caged Cannibals. So you're at the bottom of the food chain. The animals might be gone, but animalistic violence is incapable or inescapable. Try to survive a defunct zoo that has become the deadly domain of warring cannibal factions in this
That's
haunted
sick though.
house.
Okay,
I'm
so
excited for this.
there was like a haunted house maybe a year or two back. I don't remember the name of it, so don't quote me. But I had a feeling it's going to be something similar to this, where you kind of have these like factions of people who are like post apocalyptic. It's just it's cool, but they generally I hate to say this, this is kinda one of those, like, "Shit, we need one more house, like, what are we gonna put?" kind of things, in my opinion. I do think that the idea of it being at a zoo is interesting. That's a new vibe, especially from the perspective of maybe them having, like, different, like, animals that could come about, like a big tiger could jump out at
Yep.
you or something like that. That's kinda
Or a
cool.
person who thinks they're a tiger.
Rawr. But, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm kinda hit or miss on this one. I don't know if this is gonna be as popular. Generally, like, towards the events, you'll see, like, what houses do well and which ones don't based off of, like, the wait times, and I think this is gonna be one of those, like, from 1 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning, the wait line, it's like 15-minute wait max kind of vibes.
Yeah. I don't know where this one's supposed to be. I can't remember where I heard it rumored to be in the park, but no, I could see that though. But apparently, from what I understand about this one too, it's going to be very intense. Like it's
Good.
supposed to be it's going to be one of the bloodiest houses of the event. So I'm stoked.
I'm hype. Alright, that
Who
gets me
knows?
hype, actually. You know what? Hey,
Yeah.
man, sometimes, like, these are sleepers. That's why I like the original houses, because then they don't have to necessarily follow a script or follow a specific thing from, like, the IP. Like, and unfortunately, I think Universal kind of falls into this trap of, like, the story or, like, the book report kind of vibe with some IPs, where instead of kind of having creativity and stuff, they just kinda show the story or the events that happen kind of in order. One of the houses that comes to mind was that Fallout house they had like a year or 2 back.
Yeah.
It was cool, it was hyped, everybody was like, "Oh, this could be sick," and then realistically, it was kind of a letdown, like, it really just it was everybody walking through what happened in the show, and so sometimes it's hard for me whenever there's an IP that comes about that maybe isn't as scary as it could be, and then when they do that kinda, like, book report vibe, it almost makes it me feel less like I'm going through a haunted house and more like I'm just going through, like, a themed maze, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I
So
kind of felt that because like Kayla and I just finished watching like Fallout around the
mhm,
time when the house came out last year. So, like, for
yeah.
us, it was kinda cool just to kinda walk through it, but it wasn't overly scary, and,
No,
like, we only went in September because we had the frequent fear I mean, not frequent fear, the rush of fear pass
that's
and
what we
everything.
got this year.
Yeah, but from what I know, it got better as the event
They
went
did
on.
change some things from what I've heard,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I guess they took some of the feedback from people saying like, "Hey, like, this house is kinda buns," and then they maybe added some things here and there, which I like that. I like that they, like, listen to the fans and they in my opinion, I think Halloween Horror Nights can be kind of a malleable event, like, they could definitely change things in the houses throughout the course of the event that can make them scarier. They can get rid of certain things that if people, like, aren't seeing that side of the house, like, maybe add more lighting to that side to make things better on that front, or I don't know. There was, the one house that they had, like, I think it was this, Wyatt Six house. That was such a sleeper house, dude.
I
And then
loved it. That was
Dude, it
so
was
good.
so good. And then here's the other
So
thing.
good.
There was like one part where these two like huge, like 7'5" guys jumped out from both sides and like got in front of you.
I
I,
got that double scare, dude.
I
Oh
love
man, that
that.
was
Man, I
yeah.
personally have been going to Halloween Horror Nights for quite some time, like a long time, bro. And I honestly think unfortunately Halloween Horror Nights has kind of stepped away from being horror nights and has maybe stepped a little bit more into the mainstream. And part of me likes that because you get to see a lot more of those houses that have like these IPs that everyone loves. But I don't think that they should step too far away from that. Like they make it known that it's a scary event. They make it known that it's not for 13 and under, right? If that's the case, like make it terrifying. You have the opportunity to do it. Why is it not
They
terrifying?
did it with Insidious 2 years ago.
Dude, it was so scary. And so like
That
imagine if
mm,
every single house was at the caliber of Insidious. It would be wild.
it
But
would
I
be one of the
understand
craziest events ever, and it still is, but, it
it's
would be even more so with
yeah.
that.
So, and then here,
Yeah,
let me see. So this last one is HR Blood and Guts
go
presents
and take it.
a Halloween Fright-tacular. Big screens on the small screen. Your favorite, what is it? Mater D or Mater de Cabre, Mater de Macabre. Wow, that's a word. Returns to WKND with a special Halloween scare-a-thon. Tune in this haunted house, complete with ghouls, gore, and all the frights that keep you coming back for more. Yeah, this guy is a character that's been in houses before. My biggest thing, they had a house a while back called Slaughter Cinema where there was multiple rooms that were kind of themed to specific out of the box. Like there was one that was like Santa Claus that was scary and was like killing people. There was another one that would like there's little gnomes that were going around and fucking you up, like that kind of thing. I have a
Mhm.
feeling that's going to be very similar to this. But you know how every year they kind of have one of those houses that's in a way it's like not really scary. It's kind of more like a
That's
funny
kinda funny.
house. I think that's what this is going to be like low key. So it's
It could be.
cool.
I also think this could be the anniversary house,
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of callbacks to, previous icons
Well,
and
hear me
such,
out though.
but,
Those icons when those came out, like that was when I used to see back in the day when you were like a little kid and you saw the Halloween
oh
Horror
my
Nights
god, those
commercials
scared the
and
fuck
they were
out of me.
scary as fuck, dude. Like the one year when they had Bloody Mary, that was scary. You know,
Oh, yeah.
they did all the Sweet 16 that one year where they had like the caretaker and the usher and
You know he's gonna
all
be back
those.
this year, right?
Yeah,
Caretaker?
I just feel like they should lean into that more. Like they don't have to do it every year, but they should definitely try to continue to come up with different like icons like that that have a specific lore, maybe have a specific house or a venue that you know what I mean? Like there's an asylum or something like that. Like you don't have to make every house scary, but you just mentioned it earlier. Insidious was so good because it was just so scary. And that's what everyone wants to go to see. They want to go to Halloween horror nights because they want to sit, they get scared. And so I think like as it this event continues to grow because it has not done nothing but grow, they really need to step back into like listen, we're not making this for babies. We're making this for grown ass adults who want to piss their pants while walking through a line. Like
A good old fashioned conga line, if you will, you know?
show for show.
Yeah,
So, well,
and I
ho-
think that rounds out the houses, and
now scare zones. I feel like we could skip that. If you want to
we're
go
gonna
take a
skip
look at the
scare
scare,
zones.
yeah, some of them are a
But there
little
is one I
iffy.
wanna discuss for 2 seconds.
What the freaking Fortnite one?
Fucking Fort Nightmares, man. You talked about them kinda moving away and going more mainstream. We're gonna keep it to 1 minute between this. Um, I'm not excited for it. I think it's gonna be cool to walk through it, but that to me
It's a
is
money
straight
grab.
up just like yeah, it's a money grab. Like they're giving in to the whole, and it's gonna, I get why they're doing it because I feel like they need to bring in a younger audience for the event to continue to grow and be like, oh my god, they've got Fortnite here. This is great. What are these other houses? But like, for people like you and me and people that are like going year in and year out, it's like
It's just a
what?
step away from what I expect. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
honestly also I just feel like it takes away from the creativity that this team could have because the scare zones are generally where you have a lot of like the original stuff and they'll bring back either specific things that come from houses or they'll bring in like a creative aspect. So you brought him up. Yeah, like there's Clown Town, like Killer Clowns, Fort Nightmares, those kind of things. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of hit or miss on a lot of these. I think Club Horror that's actually they're bringing that back from last year.
I'm
That's
excited for it.
fire. They have DJs that play every single year, every single night. I actually looked into this for a fun fact. You could apply to be one of the DJs. I
You
actually
should do
might.
it.
I was thinking about doing it just for funsies.
You should do it. You know, I want to talk to you about something after, about like our intro music and everything. I want to maybe tap into you for that. But no, Club Horror was fun last year. I'm excited for Sideshow Decay because apparently that's going to be like the icon zone and all that stuff. So I'm excited for that one. But going back to the houses real quick, let's go ahead and give our hype list now. So I'll have you start and I'll kind of scroll through if you forget the houses.
Oh,
So
I got them in front of me right here. So
let's
are you
go
saying like hype list top, like
from
how do I?
1 to 10.
All right. So I'll start at 10 and I'll go to my number one. All right. Just for
Yep.
funsies. Number
Go ahead.
one is going to be obviously my favorite. Number 10 is like my least favorite. So coming in at number 10, I have Madlands Cage Cannibals. Kind of already discussed how I felt like that was going to be kind of a we didn't really have a house. Let's like make something. Following that is going to be Cybergoria. I think those two kind of fall in the same bucket for me. I may be pleasantly surprised though. You never know. Following that is going to be Blood and Guts. You know, HR Blood and Guts, Halloween Frightaccular. Once again, it might be a good house for people who like Halloween Horror Nights and like the lore, but I just think this is going to be like their goofy house. They always have one every year, and so for me, when I'm looking for horror, I'm not really sure. Following that, I think I'm gonna put Hellraiser. That may be unpopular opinion for some people, but I just don't
I know
get
a
this
lot of people are excited
series.
about this house.
Yeah, I can't get into it, man. Like it's just so confusing. And if you don't believe me, like go look up like a 15-minute Hellraiser explained video and you're gonna be like, what is happening? It's just it's
I'm
hard.
sure I'm
And
gonna have
so
no idea, but I'm here for the vibes.
I'm here for the vibes. I'll give it that. Following that, I definitely think that the Jack and Oddfellow house would be fun. But for me, once again, kind of a hit or miss setup. I really think that it's going to come down to how they execute the house. What do they mean by chaos and control? Like this is one of those ones where they are maybe trying to tell a story. Let's be honest, you're walking through a haunted house getting scared. It's hard sometimes to articulate a story out of that, if I'm being real. And so that's something to keep in mind. From there, I have Invasion, Alien Abduction. I love that they have grays. That's my favorite because they could kind of screw up the alien vibe and they can make it like whatever they want. But the fact that they're just keeping the stereotypical little green or gray alien people, I love this, bro. Like Roswell, New Mexico type shit. Apparently, you're gonna be able to go in the spaceship too. Huge, man. Maybe
Yeah.
that's where they're
Oh,
gonna
with how
have
much you love the space, like it makes sense.
the space. And so
The space.
definitely, big fan of that. But that's gonna be my, my 10 to 5, right? From there, I'm thinking the next one I'm gonna put is Stranger Things. I think this could be higher up on the list, but I echo the same sentiment as you. I wasn't as overly enthusiastic about season 5 of Stranger Things as the rest of the seasons that they had. It really seemed like they wrapped the story up in like a weird way, and there was a lot of
Bad
plot
ending.
holes. Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes and things like that. And then and the only thing that makes me think that too is the fact that there were so many people thinking about like them thinking that there might be another episode afterwards and there really wasn't and all this stuff. So yeah, so I'll leave it at 4. I think after that we're gonna do Ozzy Osbourne. I'm excited for this house. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a top 5, but it's just it really is once again going to come down to how they execute. Like, how is that going to look? What's it going to sound like? Also, I'm not really a huge fan of the fact that they're doing it based off of, unfortunately his untimely passing. And so it feels like that might be a reason too, which makes me a little weary on that. That being said, still definitely excited for the house. And then for my top 3, I'm definitely thinking where am I at right now? I lost it. Okay, so or I guess I'm my top 2 now. I'm
Yeah, you're in
doing
top two.
It's hard, man, because I wanna say Evil Dead number 1, but I really think Sinners is gonna be a really good house. And I'm
So
saying
Sinners
that
is your one.
I just think that it's gonna be one of those houses where it is so good looking and they put so much effort into making it look good because of the fact that it's in one location and it's hard to, like, tell a story. You know what I mean? There have been houses in the past that I've walked through that I've just been like, "Wow, I feel like I'm immersed in this," and I just think that's gonna be the case here, but at the same time, Evil Dead is my baby, I love that shit so much. So, I
Mhm.
I don't know, for me, I think 1 and 2 is gonna be a toss-up between those 2. We might revisit this as we do pods later on after going to the
I
Halloween
think
Horror
we
Nights
should
events,
for sure.
and
You know what we
then
should do? A midway report and an end report.
I'm down. I'm down. We can get in
Yeah.
on that. But
Yeah.
yeah. So those are going to be my top 10 in order. How are you feeling? Where are you at?
So since I've only seen Evil Dead, the remake back in 2012, I'm not overly like with the series and everything like that. So unfortunately for me, Evil Dead is coming in at
Boo.
number 10. I know.
Both
Evil Dead number 10.
figurative, yeah, both boo in the sense of like boo to you, but also boo because Halloween, yeah.
Tomato, tomato, tomato. Yeah, no, I get it.
But also boo,
My
like a ghost. Boo.
like little boo, boo, boo.
Anyways.
My number 9 coming in is going to be Cybergoria, just because I think it has potential to be really good, but I got to kind of wait and see. And the theory is very much like it could happen in the future, so that whole thing could be very interesting to me. But yeah, number 9, I got Cybergoria. Number 8, I got Stranger Things, just because I feel like they're beating the same drum, and Stranger Things has been there so often. Now, granted, I haven't seen a Stranger Things house, so like it's going to be cool for me. But the fact that it's based on season 5, which as we just said is not something that I'm like, I liked it a lot, but I'm not
Yeah.
like excited to where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go
It
do
also
this
kind of
first.
irks me a little
You
because
know?
you know that this is going to be that house, like we said earlier, that's going to have the longest wait time. It's going to be the biggest draw, which is, you know, there are going to be people that are going to Halloween Horror Nights just to go to the Stranger Things house. That's fine if that's what you're into, but all you're doing is kind of clogging up the rest of the event for everybody else.
But at the same time, that's good. You know, if you got people eaters out there like Stranger Things and Hellraiser, like that's going to be a solid one. Then next up, I got Invasion at number 7. Um, I'm excited for the vibrating floor. I think that's going to be really cool. And if
Brad
they
likes
can literally show
vibrations.
people, listen, we can do that on a different show. But if you literally if you see people getting pulled out of this thing by
Yo,
like
that'd be
ropes and like you
sick.
see the
Wait,
actual like
no.
abduction side of it,
Oh my God. Imagine they have
this,
people that jump in line in front of you and like they're actors and then they just get
yeah,
abducted. That would be, see, these are things that
it,
like hire us. HHN, get us
yeah.
in that shit.
If I can see a literal abduction, like maybe even during the vibrating floor segment, like this could very much pop into like my top 4 house, right? So we got Invasion at 7. Then I've got Hellraiser at 6, just because I watched 20 minutes of the first one and I'm like, brother, ew. And I just don't know, like, you
Brother,
know,
what?
brother, ew. I just don't
It's,
know, like, how deep into it I can get. We're going to watch the first one and probably call it from there.
yeah,
But
I
I
would
think that
because
this
there's
has
11 of
potential
them.
to scare me the most, though.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
think it does. Because look at these fuckers. Like, look at look at
Cenobites.
Pinhead, the Cenobites, and then you've got the dude with the glasses who's kind of funny. But the one on the left, top left corner, I don't want
He,
nothing to do with whoever that is.
man's
I want nothing.
cheesing.
I don't want nothing to do with that. Right. So Hellraiser is 6. Number 5, I've got Madlands Cage Cannibals, just because I am very much looking forward to the fact that they said it's intense, it's bloody, and it's weird. So I'm like very much like, hey, this has potential to be kind of different and really cool. So I've got Madlands. Now I'm getting into my top 4. So number 4 is Jack and Oddfellow, because you know me, I love lore. So I'm very much like, this is some, and I listen to a lot of HHM podcasts, just like stay up to date on things. Shout out Fear and Beer. Um, so this is something that I'm really excited for, just to kind of see how they kind of do that type of deal. So Jack and Oddfellow at number 4. Number 3, right next to it, I got Sinners, because I'm very excited to rewatch the movie. And just based on what I know about Darkest Steel, if this is anything like Darkest Steel, this could be the best house of the year, and it could be the most scenic house of the year,
I think
possibly
so.
as well, just
Yeah, for
because of how
sure.
you can do the whole club juke fight scene and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. Then number 2, I've got HR Blood and Guts, again, strictly for the lore and the
And the
fact
meme
that it
value.
can kind of like draw in other icons and like be kind of funny, scary, and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be a fun house, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then number 1 is Ozzy, just
Yeah.
because I love Ozzy. I love Black Sabbath. When he passed, I listened to Ozzy for like straight up 2 hours, just like rocking out to him and stuff like that. So when the house was announced, I texted you right away, and I got chills
I
just
knew
from
it.
hearing it coming. And like I knew it was coming, but to hear it be announced and stuff like that, and to have this as the key art, like I'm very much excited about it.
I'm
So
H.
that's
One
my
could
top
say
10.
HHN. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh. So,
HHN.
well, hey, we'll have to keep you guys posted. We're going. Obviously, we both got our tickets. We're both going multiple times. We'll see how it goes. And then, like you mentioned earlier, I think maybe doing like a midway through run would be awesome. And then maybe towards the end of the event, we can also chat a little further about, because once again, we talked about this earlier. Things change throughout the event sometimes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
our segment there on Halloween Horror Nights, Orlando specific, O Town. 50 pack. Anyways, before we
Shout
dive
out O-Town.
into the end of the episode here, we wanted to do one other quick thing that has nothing to do with HHN in any way, shape, or form. It actually
Nothing.
has everything to do with Florida, though. Football season's coming around, specifically college football, and you know what that means, at least when it comes to the top 3 college football teams in Florida. Definitely there are other ones. Shout out USF, shout out FAU.
UCF.
Good for you. FIU as well.
I got the UCF helmet
UCF.
back there.
Good for them. Great
Yep.
news. Unfortunately, and even though I'm living in Orlando, we got to talk about the big 3 in our opinion. We got the schedules up for FSU, the University of Miami, and the University of Florida. And we're just going to walk through those. Obviously, you know that Brad and I are both huge Florida State fans. So we're more so just going over Miami and UF just to be fair and kind of keep this very Florida focused pod. But yeah, I didn't want to get too deep into this. I really just wanted to go down the schedule real quick and get your thoughts and see if we can agree on a loss or a win based off of current knowledge of the team. I don't know how invested you've been on Florida State and how much you've been keeping up with what's going on. I guess for some quick updates, Ashton Daniels is our new quarterback from what it looks like. Kevin Sperry is taking that secondhand slot. And so Ashton Daniels is the backup quarterback, or I think third string quarterback from Auburn. You know what? Hey, I think we know what we're going to get with him. I think they were looking for someone who can produce, but I don't think we're going to be out here looking for top of the line, right? I think we're this particular season, we might be fighting for a bowl game, if that. Vegas has us at 6-4 or something. I think 6-5, something like that. So,
yep,
we'll see how it goes.
Here's my opinion. I think the floor is 3 wins. The ceiling is 7.
7 for sure. Yeah,
I'll cut it maybe 8. But that's pushing it, man. Because I'm looking at the schedule on our screen right here, and I'm thinking there's going to be some games that we're not supposed to win that we do win.
We might,
but just but just like in Florida State fashion, right? There's going to be games that we're supposed to win that we don't, and that's the story of the Mike Norvell time. Other than a couple years back, so I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right here, and I'm looking New Mexico State. That's a win. Alabama
August 29th,
lost.
Baby. 18 days, 21 hours, 55 minutes, and 0 seconds. Your boy.
Yep. But hopefully, fingers crossed that's a win.
Yeah, should be. Dude, listen, if we lose to New Mexico State, I'm not watching the rest of the season.
I'm throwing my phone into the lake in Orlando, at Universal. That's what I'm doing. We'll be there that weekend. Yeah. Then we got FSU, Alabama. That's a loss.
That's a fat L.
That's a loss. Florida State, Virginia.
Fat L. You think we're going to win against Virginia?
I'm going to take a win on that one. You're saying loss?
They kicked our shit in last year.
Dude, that was a triple overtime game, though, no? Double overtime?
One would say that was the beginning of the end of last season.
No, it was. Because, Florida State was ranked 6 or 8 at that point, I think, last year.
And we went into overtime
still riding
with
off of the Alabama.
Yeah, but listen, we'll have to wait and see. I think we're going to know more after our Alabama game. I know we've both decided that that's going to be an L, but we don't know. Maybe we come out of that game.
We weren't supposed to win that game last year.
And we did. So you never know.
I think Bama's going to be pissed because they're going to remember that. And
no, we're screwed for sure.
So you're saying win? You're saying loss. I'm saying win against unfortunately, loss.
Yeah. Double
I think Florida State's going to come into that game as 14-point underdogs.
Double L. Just a huge double L that makes it unfortunate.
If my buddies that are Canes fans are listening, congrats. You got another one on us.
Yeah,
great.
You got another one on us. But you know what? Hey, Miami's been doing okay. What I've been hearing, though,
I'm happy for them.
Is that their locker room doesn't have the same culture as it once had. So we'll see. I don't have much detail. I just have been hearing that in the grapevine. So we'll see how things go. What's next? Boston College.
When we get to the schedule. BC.
I think we win that. Yeah, I think we go win BC.
NC State.
They're usually pretty good, so I'm gonna go with an L on them. That could be a sleeper game though. SMU was the loss. Fat L.
Central Arkansas.
That's a W.
Dubs
big
up.
W. Big W.
We eating dubs.
Louisville. Yeah, it's a loss too. Yeah.
Clemson.
It's also a loss. Yeah, yeah.
Pittsburgh,
I think
win.
we could win against Pitt. Yeah.
Yep.
And then
And then we got our
Gators,
season finale against UF.
unfortunately, I think that's also an L.
Yeah. So what we
The
said, 4 wins,
ones
5 wins.
yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, there are some that could go either way, you know what I mean? Like, we could
As I
definitely
said,
possibly
some you're supposed to win.
yeah, it's 6, 7.
Whatever.
It
6 or
is what it
7. Who
is.
knows? Who knows? All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to the other team.
Other
UF.
teams. Yeah, we'll go UF
The other
first.
team.
Just for
Yep.
funsies, just to,
I got them
we
here on the
wanna keep
screen
it
too.
unbiased. We are a Florida-based podcast.
Yeah. Just to make them
So,
happy. TJ, you're welcome, buddy.
yeah, so let me see here. Florida Atlantic University, that's a W for the Gators for
Uh,
sure.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I missed that.
Yeah,
Against FAU.
huge.
Hold up. It's going to be closer than people think, though, because
No,
FAU
I'm
gave them a
sorry.
run for their money last year. I mean, the line is probably going to be UF minus 17.5. I'm calling it UF minus 17.5.
Dude, no,
I
FAU is
think
not
UF.
beating UF.
I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm saying if you're betting on this game, take FAU points
Yo,
because I think that they'll probably 10 or less.
here's
10
a
or
good
less.
question. We should call Dahl at some point and ask him what his thoughts are, because Andrew is a UF
Yeah.
fan because he's like a pseudo UF fan. He bought into that because his wife's family are all UF people, and so now Andrew's just like, oh, I'm into UF now. He's not really a UF fan. He's like a fake one. Let's be honest. But hear me out. He went to Florida Atlantic, so is he gonna root
Rivalry
for
game.
his school? Or is he gonna be a bandwagoner and jump in with the family and be like, "Oh, UF," you know what I mean? So we'll see how that
I don't know.
goes. I
All right,
personally
let's
think
roll
UF
through the
takes
rest
that.
of the no,
Campbell,
UF's going to win. Yeah.
Campbell, that
Loss.
definitely UF definitely beats them. I think
Yep.
Auburn, maybe you'd be shocked. Like, I think Auburn usually gives teams a run for their money. I don't think that's a wash game, but I think UF comes out of that victorious.
Yep. Ole
Ole
Miss lost.
Miss, I think they lose to Ole Miss for sure.
Yep.
Missouri has been better recently.
Win.
I think they could win that game, but that could be one of those games where you're not really sure coming into it. South Carolina, I think UF beats them.
Win. Yep.
I think Texas beats UF. I think that's yeah, Texas wins that. I think Georgia beats UF.
I would agree.
I think
I think Florida beats Oklahoma.
Florida does beat Oklahoma, but that could also be because don't sleep on the Sooners. I think they sometimes are a sleepy team. So you might see UF get a little bit of a run for the money on that one. I think Kentucky is also a toss-up game. Generally, I would say that UF is going to win that, but sometimes Kentucky's a pretty solid team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, I
there's
feel
that.
like Kentucky always plays UF very strong.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
see.
And then we got Florida Vandy. Florida's going to win that one.
Here's the thing. Didn't Vanderbilt beat Florida like a couple years back or like last year or whatever?
Over the last 3 seasons, Vandy's been pretty good, and it was
but they
mainly
lost
because
their
of their
guy.
quarterback, though.
Yeah. Oh, you mean 5-1? What's his name? Like, what's that guy's name?
It's like Diego something.
Pavia.
Yeah, Diego Pavia. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Florida still wins, but Vandy's been good. And then obviously we got Florida State. We already said that's
a bust. Listen, if we beat Florida, I would be hyped, but I just don't see that happening. Honestly,
but
in my opinion, I think by this time in the season, Norvell is no longer our coach.
Oh, you think? So, like, okay, going back to the FSU schedule, when does he get termed?
I think he gets termed after the SMU game, depending upon what the score is.
Bro, that's week. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I'm thinking that's week 2. No, that's like week 6.
Because I think like at this point,
5,
right? Like
6.
let's say we keep up with what we were saying, right? So New Mexico's a win, so that's 1-0, 1-1 with Alabama. I personally think we're going to lose Virginia, so that's 1-2.
Yep.
1-3, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5. But if we're 2-5 going into the week, what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, week 7. Well, I could have just said that. Math 2 and 5 is 7. But if we're going into week 7 at 2-5 and we lose to SMU, I think they pull the trigger and they get rid of it.
Yeah, if that is the record at that point, I would agree, because then you give the interim coach time to come in and like beat the
Get
dog shit off
beat
of
the shit
Central
out of
Arkansas.
Central Arkansas, and then maybe it
Yeah,
gives us a better chance against Louisville. Clemson will
yeah,
be a hit or miss one. Pitt is once again like kind of like at that point we might be scraping, and then Florida is just like. But at this point, like, listen, if we're going into SMU and we lose, and we're 2-7 or 2-5 at that point, or whatever the score is, and they're getting rid of Norvell, at that point the fan base has already left the train.
totally,
We're already like whatever the rest of the season's a bust. Who gives a shit? That's kind of
totally.
the way it looks. So, all right, we went through UF. Let's do UM now, and then we'll wrap things up
First of
here.
all, for all my friends that are fans, I wanted to say that that loss in the national championship game last year was tough, and I'm trying to be unbiased. That was a fun game, though.
Yeah, Brad. See, hear me out though, guys. This is Hum speaking here. Brad is gonna talk the way he talks because his girl is a big fan, right? Is that and her family, right? Yeah.
Well, her grandpa is, so she likes but she went to UCF, so
Okay, so does she root for UCF?
she does. And I mean, she
Okay.
also roots for Miami too, but mainly UCF. So,
Oh, Kayla with a C. What are you doing?
but last year's game was fun though. Like I was the only Florida State fan in my living room right here, and everybody else was Miami fans. So
We'll see.
that was an interesting
We'll
experience.
we'll see.
But
So we can
anywho,
go down
let's
this.
let's run through this quickly. So we got Miami and
Stanford
Stanford
W.
win,
That's a Miami's win against them. Florida A&M. That's a W too.
win.
Wake
Wake
Forest.
Forest
That's a
win,
W. Central Michigan. That's a win.
win. Clemson
Clemson could give them a run
win.
for their money depending upon how good Clemson is this year. We'll see.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, but I'm going to count that as a win.
so that's a win. So what are we at? 1, 2. We're 5-0 already. Jesus. They're gonna win against us. That's 6-0. They're gonna beat Pitt 7-0. I'm gonna be honest. Their schedule's like kind of easy.
Yeah, no, they got kind of some cake right now.
Like
Like
North
for real.
Carolina has sucked for
Win.
the last like 5 years. So that's a W. Notre Dame could be one
Calling
of the
it
I think that might
loss.
be one, especially since it's in South Bend. Like it's at Notre. That's going to be a big. That's going to be a
That's
big
a loss.
game. I honestly
Yeah.
might watch that game just to see what happens.
I'm
But
going to
I
watch that
think,
game because it's going to be game day. Like I would be shocked if it's not game day.
yeah, no, it's going to be college game day for sure. I think they take that game. Or I'm sorry, I think Notre Dame takes Miami on that game, and I think it's
Yeah.
like an upset too. Like I think it's like a big upset. Like going into that because obviously at this point they're going to be like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-0 at that point, and then Notre Dame comes in and just hits them with their first loss of the season. That would be such a fire setup. Don't sleep on Duke. I mean, I don't think they're going to beat Duke, or I'm sorry, I don't think Duke is going to beat Miami. However, Duke was a pretty solid team last year. Keep
Hmm.
that in mind. I think Virginia Tech is there's a little bit of up in the airness with that because they have a new coach, they have a new like almost a brand new team
Former
kind
Penn
of.
State coach as well.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I think like there could be a possibility that Virginia Tech is a little bit better this season than most people are giving them credit for. However, I still think Miami takes them, and then their last game is Boston College, and that's also just cake. So
That's a dub.
like we're looking at like what is this an 11-1 season for Miami,
11 and
but
1, 10 and 2 tops.
tops, but also
Tops.
like this is the Florida State coming out in me. I'm sorry. I just want to talk shit, even though I know our team is garbage. I can talk two things can be true at once. I could talk shit about and still be a Florida State fan, knowing that our team blows. You guys have such a cake schedule. Like this is so cake. Samford, Florida and A&M, Wake Forest, Central Michigan, Clemson, Pitt, North Carolina, Duke, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. If we play like let's just take a moment and go through this, and then that'll be the last thing we do. But put us in the shoes of and have Florida State go against these teams, and let's redo our schedule. I think we beat Stanford. I think we take out
Sure.
Florida and A&M. I think we beat
Yep.
Wake
I hope
Forest.
so.
I think
Hope
we beat
so.
Central Michigan. We might lose to
Yep.
Clemson, so that would be what 1, 2. That would be 4-1. We can't play ourselves, so let's pretend that Florida State is in this instance. So we would lose to more than likely. So now
4-2.
we're 4-2. Pitt, we would probably win, so 5-2. North Carolina, I feel like we could beat them. That's 6-2.
Win.
Notre Dame,
Yep.
we get destroyed, so that's 6-3. Duke is up in the air, so you do what you want with that. Virginia Tech, once again, I think is a little bit more up in the air. I have to see what the team looks like under a new coach before I make any decisions on everything. And then I think we beat Boston College. So I personally maybe I'll regret saying this at the end of the season, but I personally think that if we had schedule, we would have a lot better of a season. We would do.
You're looking somewhere between 6 and 8 wins, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I think we could easily get 8 wins if we were playing these teams, or if FSU is playing schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. The schedule is, if they don't go to the semifinal in the college football playoff, I'd be very shocked.
Yeah, no, this is like such a bun schedule in my opinion, though. Like if I was a Miami fan, like I'd be kind of like, eh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd be hyped that we're playing these easy ass teams, but I also would come from the perspective of like our season's going to be kind of boring. Like we're just going to watch our team kick the shit out of every other team that we play.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. But listen, that's what makes college football great, is understanding like, hey, you got a soft schedule this year. It's national championship or bust for Miami this year. Truthfully.
Yeah, no, listen, if Miami doesn't beat every team and go to the Natty, then you guys are trash. I'm just being honest. You guys have the most bun schedule of all the teams in Florida, other than the other ones, because we didn't look at them. We're not sure. And maybe I'll regret saying that. Maybe that'll make a little bit, maybe some fans might get a little pissy. But I think at the end of the day, like if they really think about things,
are we even
down,
a podcast if we're not getting under some people's skin?
So that's fair, especially people who are on rival teams. But you know what? Like, hey, like at the end of the day, I still think being a Floridian outweighs every other team in the country in that sense. And so, although I don't like UF or I still like them better than every other team in all the other states.
Exactly. Like for me personally, I got friends and family that went to both of those schools, right? If Florida State has a 1-win season, but you're telling me that Florida or Miami has the ability to go deep,
win the Natty,
and then those people are happy, I'm like, listen, as a Florida State fan, I'm not happy about it. But as a person that loves my people,
and I love
like,
Florida,
all right, I'm gonna, and that we love Florida, I'm gonna support you guys.
Yeah,
you know, and that's exactly how I was last year with Miami.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Whatever. Well, with that being said, I think, what are we at, an hour and 11 minutes here? Let's wrap things up. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast and jumping in here. If you're actually at this particular moment in the pod, if you listen to the whole thing, send Brad or myself a text if you have our phone number with the phrase lotion. That's how we'll know that you made it this far. And then if you have anything to tell us regarding our opinions regarding the houses at Halloween Horror Nights, let us know. If you're going to be at Halloween Horror Nights and you want to link up, we're going to be going the first few weeks in September. That's the tickets we got. So let us know.
We'll be in the fog.
If you just want to talk shit about, we'll be in the fog. We're going to fog it up. But, let me know if you have anything you got to say. And then if you have an opinion regarding our opinions on your teams, talk shit. Like, I have nothing to say. Florida State is not doing well in any way, shape, or form. So it's fun listening to people bitch at us. But either way, we hope you enjoyed this new pseudo different podcast that we have here. It's still the Garage Talks. It's still your boy Hummus and your boy Burb. But we just felt like it makes a little bit more sense for us to focus in on what we truly love, which is where we live. The
coming in
of the
on
US.
a Florida angle. Yep.
Exactly.
So I got 3 things to close it out, and then we're going to hit the outro music. Number 1, I reactivated the phone number. So
you're a bitch.
Everything that you just said about Halloween Horror Nights, about, comments about the show, direct it to this phone number, 561-247-3365. That goes right to the Garage Talks hotline.
All right,
leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text. And if you leave us a voicemail or shoot us a text, it might get read on a future episode. Just saying. So that's, again, 561-247-3365. I've said it on previous episodes, but if you love pickleball, go hit up Bread and Butter Pickleball. They have really fun paddles, really great paddles, and their paddle, the Loco, has won Paddle of the Year in 2025. 4 different, magazines or like social media lines said it was a Paddle of the Year. Kind of big deal. Use code FIN for 10% off.
That's code FIN, 10% off. Pickleball is really, really fun, and it's really popular in Florida. So there you go.
Yes, exactly. And then we do have a show store that's kind of getting a little bit of a revamp. So you can go to thegaragetalkspod.com to get a koozie, a hat, or a sticker. Support your boys.
Especially if you're anywhere in the Panhandle or the Peninsula.
Yep. And that's thegaragetalkspod.com. So hat, koozie, sticker, that's all we got right now because I'm kind of redoing the merch line. But anything supports us, and we appreciate that very much. But, with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. Until next time, we appreciate you, Garage Dwellers, and catch you on the flip.
Peace.
Peace.